manhunt is now underway right now for multiple suspects accused of shooting dozens of people in a packed nightclub overnight, killing one person. Police at the scene in Cincinnati, Ohio, where at least 13 people were shot when several gunmen opened fire, causing mass chaos. The investigation just hours old, but authorities say it does not appear to be terror-related. So far, no one is in custody.
Speed is fast out here.
4912, I copy. I have several units responding. Everybody's en route. I copy.
One person has been killed in a shooting at a nightclub in the US state of Ohio. Authorities say the shooting took place at Cameo Nightclub in Cincinnati. At least 14 people have been injured, and police say several have life-threatening injuries. Local media is reporting that there were hundreds of people inside the club at the time of the shooting.
On that disaster net channel to directly communicate with the hospital, we'll advise you to channel over there.
All right, we're also covering some big breaking news out of Cincinnati. We have 16 people shot total. One person is dead. This all stemmed from a shooting at a nightclub in Cincinnati. We're going to have much more on that throughout the morning.
Police tell CNN this shooting happened a short time ago, around 1:30 this morning, near the Cameo Nightclub. This is in Cincinnati, and officers were on the scene acting as security for that club before the shooting happened and responded when shots were fired. Now, the captain described the scene as, quote, very chaotic, with a possibility of more than one shooter.
Saturday night, it is a very young crowd. We have had incidents here in the past, but this is the worst by far. As far as what it looks like inside at this time, I mean, by the time the shots were fired, individuals ran outside, so there's not a lot of people inside the club. I do believe it was a very large crowd earlier this evening when it started, but just a lot of chaos, obviously, when the shots went off, people just trying to get out of the way, get out of harm's way. If anyone was a witness to anything that happened, obviously we need you to come forward with any information that you have. We're sure there was more than one. I'm not sure if there was more than two at this point.
I think what she's talking about there is she's sure that there was more than one shooter, but they do not know if there was more than two shooters. Now, authorities say some of the injured were able to drive themselves to area hospitals, but you heard her there asking for witnesses to come forward because everybody ran from the club, she says, and they're looking for people who can tell them more about what happened. CNN is told all of the victims are being treated. No word on the extent of their injuries.
Lisa just talking and finishing a briefing with District 2 Commander Catherine Williams. She talks to us, of course, saying that this incident occurs at 1 o'clock this morning, just around closing time for this nightclub. 4 Cincinnati police officers were outside at the time when the shots rang out inside. Officers tried to administer CPR immediately to one person who was pronounced dead here on the scene. Now, that number of casualties and fatalities may continue to change as this incident develops, as people continue to transport themselves to area hospitals. We've been told people have transported themselves as far as Mercy West and Bethesda North. Cincinnati police continuing their investigation, though, here in the 4500 block of Kellogg Avenue. This is a very fluid scene which does stretch far away. Officers, again, continuing to interview witnesses at area hospitals at this time. But right now, the concern, of course, as they continue the investigation, they say that it was multiple shooters inside the nightclub, as officers, again, trying to narrow in. One of the concerns at this point, they do say there were working security cameras inside the nightclub, so officers will take the opportunity to review that video, continue, of course, to canvass witnesses as this scene develops. Lisa?
We are following breaking news in Cincinnati this morning. At least one person is dead and more than a dozen others are hurt after a shooting at a nightclub. Our local affiliate, WLWT, says it happened just after 1 o'clock at Cameo Nightclub in the Linwood area. We're told one person has died, 15 others are being treated at the hospital. Cincinnati police say several of those victims have life-threatening injuries. Right now, it's not clear if anyone is in custody. However, we have learned that there were multiple shooters inside of the club. We'll continue to follow this for you on air and online at NBC4i.com.
15 people shot inside of a Cincinnati nightclub. One person is dead. This all happened at the Cameo Nightclub on Kellogg Avenue. 9 on your side's Kristen Swilley has been gathering information on the scene. She joins us live now with the very latest information. Kristen?
Yeah, Tamika, investigators had this whole area just locked down. One of the things I wanted to pass along to you guys before I got into more details of the shooting itself is that police are telling us right now on Kellogg, starting at Wilmer, that things are going to be closed down here until possibly as late as 9 or 10 this morning. So we're over by Lincoln Airport. Just wanted to pass that along and make sure all of you out there knew that as well. But yeah, 14 people are at area hospitals. We know that several are at UC, some at Bethesda North. One person is deceased. Let me step out of the way here again and show you what we are dealing with. We do slowly start to see this evolve throughout the morning. Sometimes you'll see people down there talking. Sometimes you'll see the people moving around, lights on, lights off. But we're still very far from the actual club itself, so several hundred yards, and that's because they are really trying to secure that evidence there, get everything gathered, and of course still trying to interview witnesses at the different area hospitals and then still here on scene. I spoke with one witness who told me that he still is trying to get back to his car. This happened early this morning around 2 a.m. and he's been out here ever since. So still an ongoing thing. We did speak with Captain Kimberly Williams out of District 2 who updated us on the shooting.
As far as what it looks like inside at this time, I mean, by the time the shots were fired, individuals ran outside, so there's not a lot of people inside the club. I do believe it was a very large crowd earlier this evening when it started, but just a lot of chaos, obviously, when the shots went off, people just trying to get out of the way, get out of harm's way.
And of course, still so many missing pieces in this, Tamika. Right now, they are looking to figure out if there are any working security cameras either inside or outside the club to help them possibly assist with this investigation as well.
On your sides, Allie Kramer is outside of UC Medical Center where some of those victims were taken. Again, 15 people hurt, one person killed. Allie, what can you tell us this morning?
Good morning, Tamika. We know that 8 people were taken here to UC Medical Center, and not surprising because UC is the only level 1 trauma center here in the area, so it is safe to understand that some of the most seriously injured victims were actually taken directly here to UC. We walked inside the emergency room, absolutely packed with people waiting right now, and some of those friends and family are actually spilling out and waiting outside. Several of them also, we understand, waiting in their cars for updates on friends and family members. And again, in talking with UC, Kelly Martin with the UC Medical Center here tells us 8 people from that shooting have been taken here to UC Medical Center. She says 4 of them in stable condition, 3 in serious condition, and 1 right now in critical condition. And she continues to provide those updates for us so that we can understand just how many people are being treated. The rest of those victims taken to other area hospitals, Christ Hospital, which their emergency room is not nearly as busy in the overnight hours, Mercy Anderson, which is again close to that scene, much closer certainly I think than here, and then of course Bethesda North Hospital as well. So several emergency rooms really working to collaborate and be able to treat all of these victims. Tamika.
So much. And again, you mentioned that they are a level 1 trauma center, meaning that they are able to handle these critically injured victims in this case. Assuming that all of them do have critical injuries, what have police been able to tell you, if anything at all, about? Have they been able to talk to any of these people? Are they conscious? Are they alert? Do we know anything at all? Have they been able to talk to anybody?
No, Tamika, hopefully that's exactly what they're doing right now, and it's common to see Cincinnati police back in the emergency room, and it's a very large emergency room, so certainly that's what they're getting done now, particularly with those 4 people who are in stable condition, but serious condition and 1 person in critical condition. Certainly they're working on those people and not conducting those interviews yet, but that's why we're going to stay on scene, and we're going to check in with Cincinnati police here in just a few minutes.
All right, Allie, thank you so much for that report. We will check back in with you in a little while. In the meantime,
Speed is fast out here.
4912, I copy. I have several units responding. Everybody's en route.
So we said here about that. You have a sickness that was shot 3 times and put in the front.
I copy.
With them. priced would probably be able to accommodate